When you're in France, if someone tells you, tu me passes le sopalin, j'ai renversé mon café, what will you do? Well, you can't guess the translation of le sopalin because it's a brand, a French brand. It's a typical object where the name comes from the brand. You have lots of them in English. This is what you will learn in this lesson. If you're a beginner, you will learn 5 new words of vocabulary. Just focus on those. This is enough for today. If you're intermediate, try to learn the generic names of the objects as well. And if you're advanced, try to remember the stories around the objects as well. It's pretty fun. This video lesson comes with a free written lesson in PDF that you can get on communefrancaise.com. There on the PDF you have vocabulary, links, extra resources, and you can print it, take notes, you can keep it with you forever. It's really a fantastic extra resource about the lesson. And also for all my email subscribers, you get a free email in French about the lesson to practice your reading skills every Tuesday. So don't miss out on that. How to get those? If you're watching this on YouTube, click on the link below the video and you will go straight to communefrancaise.com. If you already are watching this on the blog, click on the button below and leave your first name and email and you will have access to the PDF immediately. Both of those are completely free. Bonjour, c'est Géraldine, bienvenue sur Comme une Française. C'est parti, let's learn some French today. The first word of today is le sopalin. What do you think this is, le sopalin? Can you guess? Well, it's that. It's kitchen towel. Le sopalin is a name from the 1950s, les années 1950. Sopalin is Société du Papier Linge, which was the company making it. Société du Papier Linge, you take the first syllable of each word and it makes Sopalin, Société du Papier Linge. It's a fun anecdote that very few people know. And when I was preparing this lesson, a friend came to my computer and saw that and he had no idea. So it's a fun anecdote. Sopalin comes from Société du Papier Linge. The generic name for a sopalin is l'essuie-tout. L'essuie-tout, literally wipe all. L'essuie-tout is the generic name for le sopalin. Le sopalin is a brand that gave its name to the object. The second word for today is un caouet. Un caouet. Yes, with this weird French pronunciation. What do you think that is? Un caouet. Oh, the pronunciation is awful. Un caouet is a waterproof jacket. Okay, and it's very specific, it's very light. And it was invented in 1965, 1965. 1965. Un caouet is a waterproof jacket, and even though it has kind of an English name, it's pronounced this way, caouet. Yes. And it has a famous logo. Now it's coming back with fashion or something, but it's an old one and everybody knows this one. It's a light waterproof jacket originally for children, and you could put it in a kind of a little bag that you could put around your waist. And it was designed for children, but then it was created for adults as well because it was very, very easy to use. And it comes from en cas, which was the original name, en cas. En cas de pluie, actually, in case it rains. En cas de pluie. Okay, so en cas, and it was implied de pluie. It became en cas with a K, and then I read by doing my research that the boss of the company decided to make it sound American and made it caouet to sound American, but no one pronounced it in an American way. Caouet in French, caouet. So this is where the name comes from. And the bag that you put around your waist that was very famously linked to this jacket is called un sac banane, a banana bag. Un sac banane is the one you put around your waist. And you could put the jacket into this bag and put it around your waist in un sac banane. Un sac banane, so this is un caouet. If you know about the caouet and you're familiar with French culture, a French comedian called Danny Boone made a full joke sketch as we say in French, about that called le caouet. I put the link on the blog of Comme une Française, so you can check out the little funny sketch. We say that in English as well. It's very funny. We laughed a lot when it was out. And yes, the generic name for un caouet is un imperméable. But obviously, when you talk about this object, le caouet, you have the brand, and also you have the design and the bag, etc. And un imperméable is more generic, but if you want to talk about a waterproof jacket in general, this is a better name. Un imperméable. If you want to learn more about how French is spoken today, I have a course on that. It's called Subtle French for Fitting In, and it's all about dialogues from everyday life in France. So you learn about the little details about French culture and how we speak and all the little things that you were not noticing before. So this is more for intermediate and advanced students, but if you're interested in this kind of French, like it's actually spoken, not like in textbooks, check it out. Subtle French for Fitting In. Our third word for today is un bic. What do you think this is? You might know that because it's more famous around the world. Un bic, or we also call it un stylo bic. Un stylo bic. If someone tells you t'as un bic, you might be surprised because you don't know what that is. It's a ballpoint pen. A ballpoint pen. It has a famous logo, bic, that you might know already, and it comes from the 1950s, 1950. It was Marcel Bic who actually perfected the ballpoint pen and then sold it very cheap. So he did not invented it, but he perfected it and then had a marketing plan to sell it. So he gave the name to the brand and he gave the name to the actual object, which is un bic or un stylo bic. Be careful because we say un bic in masculine because une bic in feminine is une chèvre. Une chèvre, and that's a goat. So une bic is a goat, un bic is a pen, a ballpoint pen, so be careful. If you don't want to use the brand, you can say un stylo à billes, un stylo à billes, literally a ballpoint pen. Un stylo à billes, but more generally we say un bic, un bic. Something I just remembered to tell you before the fourth word is that these names can be different in other Francophone countries and sometimes even inside France, because the brands can change outside of France, obviously, but also the names can change inside France. So don't be too attached to some names. Sometimes some regions give other names, and that's absolutely fine. They're not right or wrong, they're just different. The fourth word for today is une carte bleue. Une carte bleue. What do you think that is? A clue is that you all have one. Une carte bleue. Well, une carte bleue is first a brand, but it's also an object. Une carte bleue. It's a logo, very famous, like you can see a lot in France, but it became a name for a very simple object, which is a payment card. And it can be credit or debit card, but it's also a source of confusion for French people abroad, because in France we don't really have credit cards like you have in the US or also in the UK. I don't know other countries, but I know that these countries have them. Credit card. Here in France we don't have those. It's very different, so it's a generic payment card, une carte bleue. And honestly, these cards don't necessarily exist anymore, but we keep the word from the time when they existed. Now it's more Visa or MasterCard. We don't have American Express much, but they kept the name of this old card to expand it to all the payment cards. So if someone tells you, I will bring my carte bleue, it's a payment card. And we also call it une CB, a carte bleue, but just with the first letters of the words, une CB. Yes, with this pronunciation, une CB. And if you want to give a more generic name, which is not a brand, you can say une carte bancaire, une carte bancaire, une carte bancaire for une carte bleue. And the last word for today is un opinel. Un opinel, what do you think that is? Un opinel. Well, it's that. It's a pocket knife that comes from this brand, Opinel. You can see the logo as well. It's very famous. It has this hand and the crown that comes from La Savoie. La Savoie. So it's a pocket knife, but it's the one with the brand. But then it became more of a generic name because it's so famous that lots of people have one of those. An Opinel was created by Joseph Opinel. Joseph Opinel in 1890 en Savoie. And that's why you have here the name Savoie as well. Savoie. Many people have at least one. At home we have 4 of those. So it's absolutely common for people to have them. And I'm going to close it so I don't cut myself on camera. And the generic name for that is un canif. Un canif. But lots of people will use the name un opinel. Un opinel to talk about this pocket knife. But you can also say un canif. Okay, let's test yourself now with a quiz. How do you call a pocket knife? We just saw that, that's easy. A pocket knife. You can give me the brand and you can give me the generic name. How do you call a ballpoint pen? How do you call a ballpoint pen? Again, you have 2 names. How do you call a kitchen towel? The paper ones. Well, the pocket knife is un Opinel, that's the brand. And the generic name is un canif. Un canif. A ballpoint pen. A ballpoint pen. Did you find out? Do you remember? It's un bic. Un bic or un stylo à billes. Un stylo à billes. And the kitchen towel? Like that? How do you call that? The brand is un Sopalin. Le Sopalin. Le Sopalin. Or the generic name is l'essuie-tout. L'essuie-tout, literally wipe all. L'essuie-tout. So, let's recap. What did you learn today? You learned that this is le Sopalin. Le Sopalin. That you can call a waterproof jacket le Caouet. Le Caouet, with this weird French pronunciation. That's a ballpoint pen, this is difficult to say, is le bic, that a payment card is la carte bleue, and how do you call that? The pocket knife? That's l'Opinel. All of those are brands, but they became nouns because they were used a lot. Et toi, est-ce que tu connais d'autres objets en français dont le nom vient d'une marque? Est-ce que tu connais d'autres objets en français dont le nom vient d'une marque? Do you know other objects in French which name come from a brand? There are lots of them. I picked the most used and famous, but there are so many that you can find others. For example, je dors avec des boules quies parce que mon mari parle en dormant. Je dors avec des boules quies parce que mon mari parle en dormant. I sleep with earplugs because my husband speaks when he's asleep. If you have any question about this lesson, you can also share it in the comment area. You will be more than welcome, and I love answering people's questions. If you want to learn more French, you can subscribe to get my free 10-day everyday French crash course. It is completely free. It's an email course that you can get by going to communefrancaise.com and leaving your first name and email. It's free. You can unsubscribe anytime if it's not for you. Join us, it's very fun, and you will learn a lot in just 10 days. If you liked learning French with me today, please help me spread the word about Comme une Française. Share this lesson with a Francophile friend. You can do it any way you like. By email, on WhatsApp, by texting your friend or telling them live. Even better, you can tell your French class about this lesson. They will love to learn about these objects. Merci for taking the time to watch the Comme une Française French lessons. I highly appreciate it. More and more people are learning French with Comme une Française. I hope to see you next Tuesday. À mardi prochain. I wish you une bonne journée, une bonne soirée, or maybe une bonne nuit if you're going to bed, and I will see you next time. Allez, salut!